Hey, welcome. We're going to make a jelly roll today, and I have all my ingredients on the table. To begin with, you need a jelly roll pan, which I've got right here, and some parchment paper. I've already got my parchment paper on the pan. I greased the pan a little bit first with butter, and then just press the parchment paper onto it. It's important to use parchment paper and not wax paper, by the way. It's not the same at all. You have to use parchment for going in the oven. And then we're going to have jelly, of course, for the jelly roll. Sugar, I'm using caster sugar, which is super fine, and you can just use super fine granulated sugar if you like. But this is extra good for baking and for meringues and things like that. Also, you're going to need a sifter, and you're going to need some all-purpose flour and a mixer, which I have here. And really important is a clean kitchen towel, because that's what you're going to use to roll your jelly roll up in. So we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, the other thing is 4 eggs. I have to go get the eggs. And also I'm preheating the oven, by the way, to 400 degrees. You want to preheat your oven, and then you're going to get 4 eggs. That's what you start with. Oh, actually, I need some butter to grease the top of the parchment paper with. I'm going to separate the egg yolk from the egg whites. Which I started earlier, but I still have one more to do. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I buttered or greased the jelly roll pan, put the parchment paper on it. Now I'm going to put a little bit more melted butter on top of the parchment paper and spread that around so that this is greased. If you have a basting brush, that would work well. I just don't have one right now. So I'm using a spoon. And now that that's ready, we'll move on to the eggs. The eggs you're going to be using will be broken apart and divided so that you have your whites and the yolk separate. I've done 3 of them. I've split 3 of them, but I'm going to do 1 more because it takes 4. The best way to do that actually is, if you don't have an egg separator, which I don't have, is to take some cups and do it separately so that if you get any yolk in, it doesn't mess up the whole bowl of egg white. So I'm going to carefully let this egg white run into this cup and then put the yolk in the other cup. And then I will, of course, pour it with the rest of the egg yolk and the egg white. So now that we have this, we have 4 eggs separated. And the first we're going to work with is the yolk. So I'm going to pour the yolk into this big bowl. And the yolk gets mixed with a 1/2 cup of sugar. And what you have to do is actually mix it for 10 minutes. So for 10 minutes, we do this until it is about 3 times the volume of what it was originally. You're also going to put a pinch of salt in, which I'm just going to like shake a little bit. So now I've finished mixing the yolk with the 1/2 cup sugar. And the next step is to gently blend the flour into this, and it needs to be sifted, and so you want to do that in like 2 or 3 batches. So we'll just put a little bit in and sift. This is your all-purpose flour, and then gently, I'm using a spatula, gently fold it into this yolk mixture, which, as you can see, came out nice, and it's a pretty pale color, and it's about 3 times the volume of the egg yolk when we first put the egg yolk in the bowl. Okay, so that was 1 little batch of flour. Now we'll do another batch, and this is like 3/4 cup of flour, and that's all. So again, you sift it in and you gently fold it into this beautiful pale mixture, which I love because it's transformed the yolk into something very, very pastel and pretty. It's hard to believe that this is egg yolk. It's getting kind of thick. So I'm folding it in gently. Maybe I'm being a little too rigorous here, but I'm supposed to do it gently. So I'll do it again, the last bit. Get this in here and get it rolling. Okay, gentle fold. Gentle fold. Sometimes it's hard with baking to be gentle. You want to just hurry it up, but I suppose it's better to really follow the instructions and gently fold it in. Now we're going to beat the egg whites with the remaining sugar and try to make stiff peaks. So pour that in here, and the remaining sugar, meaning that we started off with a certain amount of sugar. We used a half a cup. We started off with 2/3 cup of sugar, and we used a half cup of that for the egg yolk, and now we're going to use the remaining part. So I'll plug in the mixer again. I went ahead and washed the mixer's whiskers. I'm not sure if that's what you call them, but I washed the whiskers, and so I'm going to use this clean set of whiskers on this. I'm impatient, so I'm making this at the highest speed because I don't want it to take too long, and I want to see those peaks. That looks good to me. Does that look good to you? Okay. It looks great. Okay, so now we're going to gently fold this egg white mixture into the yolk mixture so that we'll lighten it. We're going to put in 1/3 of it to lighten it up. It certainly could use a little lightening. It got a little thick there. So let's hope it works. Lighten up, okay. It's lightening. Okay, and then we're going to put the rest of it in using a figure-8 motion with the spoon. Why, I have no idea, but I will follow the rules and see if that helps to make a very light and fluffy jelly roll. Looks yummy. Okay, figure-8. I guess I see how it sort of makes a difference. When you do that, it mixes it in better. Very clever. Figure-8. Okay. Figure-8. All right. Sloppy figure-8. Okay. Now, we're going to spread the batter evenly in the pan, and what is so awesome about jelly rolls is they bake in 8 to 10 minutes, so we are almost to the point where we're going to have something to take out of the oven, which is really nice if you want to make a quick dessert and you want to make something that looks special, looks a little fancy, festive. You can make these jelly rolls for different holidays. You can use all sorts of different flavors of jelly. Some people use whipped cream, some people use icing. So for this to be such an easy dessert, it's really nice and fun for kids to help make. So I'm just spreading it out evenly. Looks like the mixture came out very nicely. Nice color, nice consistency. And of course I'm spreading this on the parchment paper that I greased with butter. And I happen to use organic pasture raised butter, which, I mean, you're not going to get much of the butter in the jelly roll actually, but you will get a little of it, and that is healthy butter, so that's nice. Okay. Let's see, did I get everything, every last bit of goodness out of the bowl. All right, now we're going to stick it in the oven at 400. Again, I preheated the oven, so that was done a little bit ago. We'll pop it in and see how it goes. Oops, 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, now it's ready to come out of the oven. It's been in for about 9 minutes and it looks like it's done. As you can see, it's kind of golden brown around the edges. It smells delicious. Really good. So I think it came out nicely. On the table, I have a nice clean dish towel, which I'm going to turn out the cake onto. Hopefully this will be easy. Actually, it kind of just slides out of the pan, and I will put the pan down because it's very hot. But what we're going to do now is we're going to actually roll the jelly roll using the dish towel and roll the long end. So I'm going to start here. Roll it like this. Okay, and then we're just going to leave it like this until it's completely cool. Okay, so now we've allowed the jelly roll to cool. We're going to unroll it from the tea towel, and tea towel's kind of sticking a little bit there. And then we're going to roll it up again after we put the jelly in. And the jelly is here. I melted it in the microwave for about a minute. This is raspberry organic jelly. Yum. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the jelly in and spread it out. I love raspberry jelly. And this is going to have a nice flavor, a little bit like an Abel skeever in a way, because most of the Abel skeevers you get have the raspberry jelly, so it's kind of like a Danish version of this French jelly roll, which is actually a version of a Swiss roll. So now we roll it back up again, very carefully. Gorgeous. It smells so good. And then what you can do is you can put jelly on the top and you can sprinkle it with blanched almonds if you like, or you can put powdered sugar on it with cream, icing. You can decorate it for the holidays. So a jelly roll is a really versatile dessert, and again, you don't have to use raspberry jelly. You could use whipped cream, you could use strawberry jelly. So it's, again, very versatile, a lot of fun to make, super easy. I'm going to slice a piece, actually this one, it's a little curly on the end, so you probably want to like just cut the ends so you make it nice and even. And then as you can see, if I turn it sideways, got that nice jelly roll look, which I love. And actually I made this one today to celebrate the anniversary of Jelly Roll Inc., which is my little company that I have with my brother, and we make books like Sugar and Spice, 100 Monologues for Girls, Echo Booming, 100 Monologues for Teens, and a bunch of others that you can find on our website, jellyroll.com, JELLIROLL.com. So it's been fun talking to you today. I'm going to have a piece of this jelly roll right now and let you know how it turned out. It is good. It's delicious. So hope you can have some fun making one too. And I'll see you next time. Bye.